Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Here's a little tune to help you remember. Same drive, different day. Don't you wish you were getting away? Pack your bags and come on through. Texas, Ohio, Alaska, we're up there too. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Well, I hope you like my little song. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Where it ain't no fucking limits. So we got a guest today. Y'all make sure that y'all come in, share the live, share the page. You know, it's all about love, support, good vibes, and positive energy. So follow my guests on all social media. Do you have TikTok?
I do, but I'm not really active on TikTok.
Okay. All right. So you can follow her on Facebook. It's TIA Marie. And it's all about, like I said, love, support, good vibes, and positive energy. Today's episode is menopause, surgeries, health, and more. Y'all know I do this every other month on the couch. And now we have a guest that's going to be here talking about it with us. Don't mind this little fly that snuck in. I'm going to slap him every time I get a chance. We also got this camera up here, so it's all cameras you'll be looking at whenever you get a chance. Just do. Can you tell everybody who you are and where you are from?
My name is Tai. I am originally from Arizona. I moved here when I was small to be with my grandparents, and I ended up in Oklahoma.
Wow. That's crazy. One of my good friends is from Phoenix, Arizona.
No.
Yeah, she's been on the couch a couple times.
Yeah.
Now, was you diagnosed with fibroids and cysts, or how did that come about for you?
So, for me, I currently, or had served, I'm a veteran, got out in 2017, went on more than one tour, came back, and I feel that I had been exposed to some things overseas, and it affected my women's health. It's been a long journey, and I feel like as of from 2012, 2011 maybe, until last year, 2025, when I did have my surgery. Thought it was over, but we'll get into that. But it's been a long time coming to where I would find some solutions and answers and end to all of the discomfort and pain that I've been experiencing from it. But what ultimately led to the surgery, which was in September, was I went to my usual annual wellness exam, and I had been experiencing discomfort, heavy bleeding, really bad pain. So I brought it up, and we looked into it, ultrasound, and they found the adenomyosis, and that is where it started. That was April 2025.
Now, I want to take it back to when you were on tour. For those that don't know, anything about the Army, or was it Army?
Yes, Army.
Anything about the Army or anything like that. What are some things that can expose a woman to just health problems down there for them?
For me, I didn't realize what it would be, but it's the environment out there, the dust, and then where I was stationed and where I was serving. There were burn pits. They would burn all types of substances and items. So I believe all those things kind of combined and affected. So it's sad, but a lot of people females will experience issues, and there's lots of cancer, males, females.
How long did you go, be in pain before, anybody ever actually found something? Was you having that pain before you got your ultrasound? How long before all of that?
So I started having issues, and then looking into it, I actually received a sterilization as a first line of comfort and relief from my symptoms. And
what does that mean?
The sterilization? So they basically thought it'd be something affecting my tubes. So I was having pregnancy. I had tried once to get pregnant, and then I was high risk, and so like the heavy bleeding, it was consistent, so they figured even though with all the labs, all the tests at that time did not indicate, they were like, we could do this as relief. I did ask for a hysterectomy at that time. But they said, we'll take steps because you haven't had a child and that you are still young enough too. So to give you an opportunity, we'll just start off with sterilization. And then it just progressed, and about close to 4 years, which would be the April of last year. So in between the deployment symptoms, first line of relief, and then finding out everything, and then the surgery September of last year.
Wow. So when it comes to any type of surgery or medical issue that you have, doctors make you go through a process. They don't give a, I mean, just being real, they don't really give a fuck how much pain you're in unless it ruptures.
Right.
Which sucks, you know, that we have to go through that pain, and it's like nobody really understands it, and it just doesn't look like we're like in pain until we go, when we get that sharp pain.
So I highly push to advocate. So anytime you know your body, you may not be a doctor, but you are feeling what you feel, and you have that intuition, and you are having that history that they only get once you come to them. And for me, I did advocate to have my ovaries removed. I wanted a full hysterectomy. At that time, I was trying to be not really soft with myself, but I was just careful, and I compromised that. And she basically told me that when she would go in, if she looked at the ovaries, if there was nothing there, she would keep them in so I could go into menopause as natural as possible. But if she did see something, then she would take them out. So when I woke up from surgery, they were still there. So I was kind of
pissed.
Yeah, it was a relief, but at the same time, it was another fear. It was another sensitivity. I thought maybe with the partial hysterectomy that it would give me some sort of sense of confidence and closure in this journey that I was going through. But it ended up kind of still lingering. So.
Yeah, because people don't realize that, you know, it is a closure. It's like break it up with something.
Yes.
This is a part of your body that you literally have to say goodbye to.
Yes.
A part of just, and if you would have had the total, then it is like, every day you have to think, like, damn, what if?
That does. And another realization I came to after the hysterectomy was the fact that it really had me not question, but it really affected how I looked at myself as my womanhood, and my femininity, and that created another sense of grief and loss, other than the opportunity to naturally carry a child, and also just coping with the infertility. So it was a lot of emotion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I totally get that. How long, while you were in pain, like what were some things that you would do to kind of alleviate the pain? What helped alleviate the pain, and how severe was the pain for you?
For me, anytime that I would go for pain management to the primary care, or if it led me to non-ER, it wasn't as bad for the ER. I was always treated, and it was always taken as if it was severe menstrual pain. So it was always like, we can give you the 800 milligram ibuprofen, do the heating pad, exercise during the time, eat right, like the same information they seem to rotate anytime that you try to come to them about female pain or discomfort. It's always about menstrual if you're within that age. I feel so with my experience.
That is definitely true. And you're considered a person of color, so yeah, they're definitely going to treat you like that, And even with advocating for yourself with your doctors, I feel like it was inappropriate for your doctor not to do a total if you asked for a total.
Yes.
Because my doctor, he specifically was like, hey, I have an experience with people of color, and it comes back with you guys bad, so do you want to keep anything, or do you want to just do a total? I was like, I want a total. I I don't want the pain that I had and how many of them it was, and it ended up getting wedged between my rectum and my bladder, and I couldn't use the bathroom. I couldn't sit down. I was in a wheelchair. I was like, yeah, no, I don't ever want this to come back.
Right.
So I decided to make sure that I did every other month on the podcast a discussion about it, because people need to know. You know how many people, women specifically, but men, of course, they didn't even know. But when I was talking to the women, like, hey, have you been checked for fibroids? They're like, what is that? I'm like, wow, it's so many of us that don't know about it. You know, what age did you get, acknowledged with it? When did you learn about fibroids, cysts, hysterectomies, and all of that?
Last year.
You see what I'm saying? I didn't learn until I found out. How long did it take your OBGYN to find out that you had it?
I actually had to go through 2. So the first one treated it again as, my experience, anytime that I would come to them, they would do maybe it's the STDs. You'd go through that.
Oh my God, they said that to me too. I was like, are you kidding?
Every time. It was so frustrating to me, because I'm like, I understand there's a process, but if you could look at the history.
No, it's between process and disrespect. Now, don't disrespect me. You talking about a STD and you didn't even get no evidence. No, you just automatically saying that. Like, come on.
Yep, it was always that. So I always, anytime that I would go in and it came to my female health, I always knew that would be, let's check that. Let's do a full panel, which we, of course, rule out everything. You never know. Then it would be like the labs. And then after the labs, it'd be, actually, I didn't even get ultrasounds until April, when everything started. So that was just new to me. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I've been dealing with this for such a long time. It's not something that happened within the year. Why wasn't this ultrasound presented to me or given to me as an option, as a way of looking into it a little more?
Right.
So when they did it, I actually did the internal ultrasound and the one where they do it over your belly. So 2 types, and I didn't realize there was even that. So very eye-opening, and for me, I feel that once I reach a certain level or platform of coping and accepting where I was with everything, it opened up a whole level or extension of what I thought I was able to just have some sort of peace with it.
Right.
So it very emotional for me, especially when I woke up from the hysterectomy and realized I just had the surgery. There was that relief from all the symptoms that I was having for so long. I felt that instantly. And I've talked to a lot of females that had hysterectomy and support groups, and they did say they
I love
shared
my
the same
support groups.
Yes.
I was in a hospital. They were sending me gifts. Like, they were so sweet.
Yes, very sweet. And it's just very personal. And so it helps when someone been through it and can talk to you. And not to discredit or discard anyone else that hasn't, but it's just such a personal topic and feeling. And just having that connection, it does help.
Yes, it definitely does. There's times where, see, this is my actual journal. Sometimes I have to, sometimes I'm like, I got a wife, I'm like, babe, can you just, she knows when I'm having a moment, because people think because I'm gay that it doesn't bother me, but it does. It's like, all of me is gone down there. Like, I know who I am as a woman, but who am I without my womanhood? If that makes sense. I mean, I know it makes sense.
And you are everything. You are everything.
Thank you. You are too.
Thank you.
When, once you change doctors, what gave you that courage to even go get a second look or a second opinion? Because a lot of women, especially women, it kind of scares us to go get a second opinion because we don't want the denial or the not treated like, what we're talking about is true. Or what gave you the courage to do that?
I've always had this certain personal will to kind of come to finding out what is next, because I had been struggling with it for so long, and I was to the point where I was like, I just need I need this to end in some way. I need a final answer. I need
right.
a relief, because it really mentally and emotionally really digs into you deep. And honestly, even in the time when it would drag me down, I turned to the Creator. And the scriptures and Psalms, Job, and Lamentations really helped me anchor the heaviness of the grief and anything else that would come with it. Turn that into the heaviness of peace. And it's an ongoing thing, as well as what I'm dealing with and feeling and going through. Without him, I don't think I would have that type of strength to continue. So that actually helped me push for a second opinion and another look.
Now, with the endometriosis, it came with after came fibroids?
The
or just
endometriosis was not endometriosis. It's very similar. So it's a tissue condition that lines the uterus, and the tissue can expand and go into the walls of the uterus. And when it does, it can bleed, and it can dissolve, and it can enlarge in the uterus. So when you menstruate, especially when you menstruate, it can cause the uterus to be 2 to 3 times larger, just because it's in the actual walls.
Right.
But endometriosis is the outside of it.
Right.
So this was actually in. So the pain, as it progresses and as it gets deeper into those walls, I started experiencing shock-like cramps, to the point where my lower back would hurt. I would get the bloating, and my body was inflamed. Like, it was just reacting and trying to hold all of that constant discomfort and pain.
Wow. Did they let you see what it looked like?
No. When she took out everything that left the ovaries, it went to pathology, and that is actually when it came back. They had fibroids. So is something there was missed, or I'm not sure how that goes, but that's how they found out, and they told me.
Oh God, I made them take pictures. It was so many of them, and it was huge. It was as big as a man's 9.5-inch dick. I was like, so I got a 9-inch dick in there?
Wow.
That was like, well, they're fibroids. I was like, well, yeah, but you said it was
like you were
9 centimeters damn near. Like, that's a man. I said, I need a picture of those, please, because I need to see them. And, once I found out about them, I started doing research. And some fibroids come with faces and hair and teeth, like babies.
Yeah, I think
It's crazy.
I did a general, so I didn't go in depth, because I was like, wait, what? But
I had to, because my friend, she ended up having one with teeth, and she was like, girl, you better hope that you're not getting chewed up on. I was like, chewed up on?
What do you mean?
Girl, she said them things was chewing on her. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the thing. I said, nah, you lying. I thought she was just trying to scare me, because I'm just now finding out. No, it's a true thing. And did you know that people of color, we end up getting fibroids and cysts and those women issues at the age of 18 or younger?
No, I did not know that.
And white women, they won't get it until their 20s or 30s.
Wow, I was not aware of that. That is very eye-opening.
Yes.
And I feel that's something medical professionals should put in consideration.
Absolutely. But when it comes to people of color, the reason why they don't put it in consideration is because they already have what they think of us in charts and what to go by. To them, we have a higher tolerance, so they let us deal with things a little bit more, because they're actually doing research. I started my podcast because I was held hostage at Baptist Integris. They tried different medications on me that wasn't even there, that wasn't out yet. Tried to kill me twice.
Wow.
Like, made it to where I could never have kids again before I found out about the fibroids and cysts.
Wow.
So I was already going through those emotions of feeling incomplete. They was just doing stuff for no reason, taking my spinal fluid. They didn't even figure out why I was having severe migraines. I couldn't even open my eyes. Come to find out, it was because I needed neck surgery. I was shopping in Sprouts February 2nd, 2022, and an employee hit me with a forklift.
Oh my goodness.
Changed my life. But with me being down, it made me realize that I need to pay attention to my body, because I was just moving. I was in my head. I did 9 years in prison, so I think that I have to prove to the world that I can work, and I can work good, and I can work a lot, and I can do. Right. And I was doing that. I was like 4 jobs in, and then I got hit with that forklift, and it sat me down, and it's just like, okay, now I'm paying attention to my body. Oh, I'm hurt. Like, what's this? Mm-hmm. My OBGYN, she told me nothing was there. I was like, it severely hurts. When she was touching it, I was like, She's like, that's normal. I said, normal? She was like, yeah.
Wow.
I was like, okay. About 2 weeks later, I was in emergency surgery having a total hysterectomy.
And see, for me, having a sudden surgery like hysterectomy is unexpected, and I feel that's really emotionally shocking. And for me, I knew it was happening because you go through the scheduling, you go through the follow-up appointments to get ready for the surgery, and then when it starts happening, it really did hit me. Like, I literally was there in the morning getting prepped, ready to get rolled into the surgery room, 7 o'clock in the morning. And as they were hooking the IVs up, it just really hit me. Like, this was sudden, because from April to September is not a long time. And I was dealing with a lot to prep for it, and then also for my own self. Mm-hmm. So I completely understand when you made that statement.
Yeah. Did you have any family and friends that were there for you during this moment?
Yes. So once I found out what was happening in April, I immediately told family. Turned to the church. My partner helped a lot too. He was very supportive. And then I started going and looking at social groups. And
Me
then
too.
I reached
immediately.
out. Yes.
I'm in all the fibroid and cyst groups.
I need to join a few, because
yes.
I still haven't. I'm still trying to process things. I'm not trying to overwhelm.
And they got hysterectomy groups and total
yes.
hysterectomy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in all of those.
Yes. So, yeah, definitely. That was one of the things, other than lining out everything, that was also part of it too.
Man, I swear, those groups, and shout out to the groups, that actually helped me the most with all my surgeries. Like, I've had a neck surgery, back surgery, yes. 2 shoulder surgery. And when they did my back surgery, they went through my stomach and my back.
Yes.
So, and then with my total hysterectomy, they went through my stomach. And then I had 2 different hernia surgeries, and they had to go through my stomach. So because I keep having surgeries in my stomach, my hernias keep coming back, because I also have lupus. So they'll come back like under my ribs, like weird places. I have to push my intestines back in. I feel it coming out, and I be having to push it back in, and I'm just like, how do we prepare for stuff like this? Like, how do we...
It's one of those unexpected things. Mm-hmm. And even when people start having symptoms, like for me, I'm very fortunate that I'm able to have the insurance and the finances to keep on top. But there are some people that don't.
Yeah, I didn't have insurance at first. They wouldn't even look at me. They laughed at me. They literally treated me like shit until me and my wife got married. And when I got married to her, they put me on her job insurance. And that's when every doctor started rolling out the red carpet for me. And I was like, wait a minute. So it really was about the insurance, because you guys tried to make me tell me like it wasn't. But you literally wouldn't even look me in my eye. And now all of these things have gotten so far. Like my OBGYN, like, girl, you could have told me that you felt something. My stomach was literally sitting up.
Yep. So was mine. Because my uterus was enlarged, it looked like I was pregnant.
Yeah. How did even that part made you feel?
It really bothered me, but at the same time, I put myself in check by saying it looks like that because of a tissue condition. Mm-hmm. So I constantly had to tell myself that, just to kind of regulate emotions and keep my mentality and my focus, because it was such a personal, sensitive process and subject. So I just got to tell yourself, and even then it was very exhausting. So
now, was there anybody else in your family that's been diagnosed with it as well, or
no? So when I first heard of it, because that was the very first time as
Me
well.
too. I thought you said endometriosis.
Yeah, I thought so too. Like, I sat there and I said, what? But no, yeah. I go, is it something that I did? And of course I referenced back to my deployments, being in the military. And they said, well, because you've never had children, you've never had a C-section, right now it's unknown. We don't know how or why you got it.
It's not hereditary?
From what the doctor told me, no. But as I looked into it, I did see some information when I researched it that females between 30 and 40 years old, it can become apparent. It can just come up.
Wow. And, again, I thought you said endometriosis, but it's pronounced endometriosis?
Adenomyosis.
Adenomyosis.
Yeah.
Metriosis or
Endymyosis.
Endymyosis.
Yes.
Wow. Now I want to do more research to know about the ages, because that's what made me, because I was like, wait a minute, how come people of color get it earlier?
Yeah, there needs to be research. I know that when you look at research, it's so outdated, I feel.
Right. It says, this is the thing, is I've been having these same symptoms since I was 13. It don't say that online. You want to know why I think? It's because how many 13-year-olds just automatically know that they have fibroids and cysts because of the sharp pain and all of this extra blood from their period? Is they thinking it's normal. We at that young age, so we're not thinking to go get it checked in that way, so it doesn't get documented until the age of 18. Because now you're not under your parents' care. You don't got to depend on your, like, say, hey, mom, I'm hurting now. Oh, take this. Because your parents are also, at that age, contributing to the, take an ibuprofen or, put some Vicks, my stomach hurt.
What is that?
Right.
Or get the heating pad.
Yeah, it's like, no. And really, heating pads aren't really that good for this area when you're having this type of issue, because it could just bring the blood up. They usually tell me to put cold packs on to keep the blood down.
For me, it was always put some heat on it, or get those menstrual patches and those heat up. So, yeah, it's very frustrating. It can be very confusing as well. So it's really hard to pinpoint unless you're on top of it.
Right.
And for me, I was one of those people that were on top of it because I was always scared of cancer or anything else.
Right.
Because I have observed and I have felt that once something happens, it can always manifest or bring something into it as well.
Yes. What was your recovery like?
Recovery actually was a blur. I was so medicated for the first 2-3 weeks, but afterwards, just getting out of bed, sitting upright. I couldn't drive for weeks. Feeling that core strength and then feeling the organs moving as I got up and down.
Oh, jeez, I know.
Was very shocking. It was very hard and painful. So I was bedridden for a good 4, going into the 5th week into it, until I finally had to tell myself, you need to get up. And
did you have any complications or anything?
No complications, other
Thank
than
God.
I found out I was allergic to surgical glue. Because I had a laparoscopic surgery,
right,
for the partial hysterectomy. So
yeah, and those pieces of glue are annoying too.
Yeah,
they just start chipping off and stuff. I'm like,
yeah, very itchy.
yeah. Wow. My recovery was actually, it was crazy. I had so many issues, and I almost couldn't even believe it. The pain, I was like, maybe y'all didn't tell me how bad it was going to hurt.
Right.
But when I woke up and I was trying to get up, but I also don't like to do medications when I do surgeries. Okay. I did my back surgery with no medication.
Wow.
I wouldn't even let them give me any pain meds after they took me. Like, when I finally woke up and I had to stay in the hospital still, I was like, no. They was like, what? I was like, no. I need to know what's going on with my body because I've missed so much.
Right.
Because I was on the medication at first, and it was just like not realizing that, okay, well, you hurt right here. You hurt right here. You hurt. And they was thinking that I was hurting from my back from this, but it was the forklift. It was just so much. Man. How did you stay overnight after your surgery, or did you?
Yes.
Okay.
It was one night. I really don't remember, but I do remember getting out and feeling that relief instantly.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while for me to kind of fully awake, and my bladder, I remember they were saying that there was issues because they were trying to make me pee before they rolled me into my room.
Right.
And then having a movement and to pee before I left the next day. So it was a long day. I felt I was in there for like a week, when even though it was a day. It was very, It was very weird, and it was just like, okay, when do I go home?
Yeah. They actually got scared because when I first got out of surgery, everything is supposed to be good, and then they're supposed to change your bed pads and everything. But when they went to change my bed pad, it was so much blood that they thought they was gonna have to give me a transfusion. They was like I don't know why she's bleeding that much, but it was coming out my private area. It wasn't even coming from the incision, and it was so much. They was just like scared, like you could just see them like scream. But I was so out of it at that moment that I was just like looking at them like
they got it.
I said, I hope y'all get it because I can't help you. How long did it take for you to heal completely?
Up to 8 weeks. I was very fragile with myself, so I'm not sure if that plays a role into it, because they give you that estimated time, 5 to 6 weeks,
right?
But I listened to my body, so like once I felt that the organs, when I would get up and the pulling kind of was bearable, and then when I would taper myself from the pain medication is when I would kind of start basing it and be like, okay, now can I walk, and now can I drive? But I do remember one time I did try to go to the mailbox, and it took me like 40 minutes to drive or walk down to the mailbox and back, and it's literally 2 complexes, so it should have maybe taken me less than 15 minutes. So I kind of just try to test myself carefully. Yeah. So, but yeah, I did take the full time to heal.
As you should. Did you use the band?
I did not. I was scared. So anything around that area, I felt something would happen, because just getting up again, just feeling everything shift and move down, and then like
that's the only thing that helped me with the shifting is the band.
It did. Yeah.
The tighter the band, it was just like this wouldn't move. I'm like, yes. And now I just learned that I need to wear a band for the hernias, but it's a different type of band. It has like a regular band, but it has like a big circle to where it holds like the. I didn't realize all these things came with bands. Yeah. I didn't, but my hospital actually left me with a band. They was like, you got to wrap yourself, and if you want, the best healing and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, oh, okay. So I was also learning from the group, but I was also learning from my doctor. He was a very good doctor. His name was Dr. Kallenberger. He actually has his own medical research library in Baptist Integris, named after him. Like he's really good with us, like people of color, the most. Awesome. And I look for that type of not just results, but like reviews when it comes to doctors, because some people don't care. They'll be like, oh, that's good. Even though you're like, ah, right. But then we'll get people that'll be like, you hear them, they'll hear you scream. They like, no, we got to immediately get you. Because he immediately got me into surgery. Wow. I was his first surgery. Wow. Of that month, because he was like, oh, no, we're getting you in. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm glad he took in consideration what you were saying and like,
yes,
and acted on it.
Yeah.
It was important. So I'm glad.
Now, when you started speaking to your doctors and letting them know, like, hey, this could have happened when I got deployed, what were their reactions and their comments on that?
Well, in my experience, anytime I try to voice any possibilities, because again, I know my journey, and you keep in mind when something happens to you, you keep tabs of what could have helped, what could have progressed it or started. So I always immediately bring that up and like, hey, I was deployed, and also I was in areas where there were burn pits, so there's a lot of toxins and chemicals that I was exposed to, and could that have been it? And then of course then go down the line of, okay, how were my cycles were, and then up to the sterilization, and then up, because I do the women's annual wellness exam every year. I don't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I tell them, hey, from this year to this year, this was the change, or this year to this year.
Yeah.
So it just, for me, I just think that being mindful of it and knowing it, and then bringing it up, sometimes I'm either dismissed, which makes me really feel like I'm overlooked, but then there are some that really note, and then like with you, they listened and act on it. So it's really hit and miss.
Yeah.
And it's really sad anytime that I establish any type of line of care with a professional, and then they have to move to another facility or they retire.
Right. Ugh, that happened before. Dr. Kallenberger, he retired, and I was still having issues after he retired, but not in a way like surgery issues. Actually, I take that back. It was before he left, he had to clip something out of me because I was 2 years ago, I was at Oklahoma County Jail, falsely accused. I beat the case and everything, but I still had to go to the jail, do the process. Right. Well, one of the sergeants that was working there, I guess she didn't want to be there, whatever. She hit me really hard after I had just had my total hysterectomy. I was still healing. Well, because she hit me that hard, it developed into a hernia. So I had 2 hernias in my umbilical cord because of her. So it just kept coming back. And I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with this pain. So I tried to go back to him, but he was gone. So I ended up going to another doctor, which come to find out it was a hernia. So I had to go to a different doctor. Now, after having all these surgeries, I realized that you have to have a different doctor for almost everything.
Yes. I know with my hopefully final stage of everything, when I started experiencing after the physical healing, I started experiencing a wall where I was very exhausted.
Yeah.
And when I went, thankfully, my doctor was Dr. Nanda, and she suggested some things that could cause it, but not directly or immediately telling me it could be my ovaries not doing well after surgery to produce what I need to coast me into menopause. So after a while, like, it's frustrating to having to go through another process, but I just started HRT. This will be my 2nd month, so I'm still fairly new. They said it takes about 3 to 4 months.
That's the menopause medicine?
Yes. Yep. And the way I was told was when I did my first wellness women exam after the hysterectomy, everything's fine. 2 weeks after that, well, now everything per the labs don't look fine. And even after the labs we took immediately after your surgery, there was still something there that was not right, elevated and low. And I'm like, well, you never said, up until this point, you had said everything was fine with me. Like, I was okay. Now, all of a sudden,
it's not?
It's not, yeah. Like, especially after my surgery.
Right.
So now I'm in that process where I'm trying to elevate and just, again, stabilize everything. But this time on a hormone level. So it's...
Okay, so how is menopause for you, though?
Exhausting, emotional, stressful. Another, like I said earlier, mentioned another layer, an extension of the frustration, irritability, sadness. Now it's just in another form where every day I have to take the medication until I can be in menopause. So now I feel like it's drugged out to a certain degree. So I'm still dealing with the feeling, the new morning routine, and dealing with trying to see if it helps me with mood and emotion and mentally, because I'm already emotional already.
Right.
And so now I'm like, okay, I was emotional before, but now it's another layer of emotional, and now it's like to elevate them. Like, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you experience the anger?
I do. And I think that stems from the pain and hurt
Mm-hmm.
and frustration.
Mm-hmm. It's the menopause anger.
It's very quick. It comes through for me in being irritated easily.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a short, not temper, but normally I would have like if someone would come to me or something was happening, or if I'm just even sitting there taking my medication, and with my estradiol gel, I have to wait for up to an hour. So I have the gel and you put it on your skin, and I wait an hour, and then after that I can kind of like dress or just resume activity. So normally I take that hour to reflect how I feel at the time I'm doing this, what I'm thinking, and then later on in the day I revisit that to see if there's any change to kind of help me with that process.
Wow. Do you journal?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I journal a lot.
You know, it's not strange, but it's always good to hear, you know, someone that goes through the same thing as you or something similar to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I've learned a lot through this episode today.
As if I with everything that you've been through, and it's just I'm gonna go home afterwards and do the fibroid research. So I mean, it really is eye opening, and it's very shocking, but at the same time there is that relief.
Right.
It's strange.
It's crazy how both surgeries can lead you into menopause.
Yes.
I went into menopause immediately. Immediately. I've been menopausing 3 years now.
Wow. So are you, for me, going into it new? So anything that I have experienced or have explained through mine, is it something that you can relate to as well?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely normal. It actually gets worse if you wasn't on medication. I don't take any medication for it, but I've learned how to deal with it because I watched my mom menopause, and she was extra mean. So anytime I feel that anger that I was just telling you about, I'll be like, I'm acting like Gina. That was my mom's name. I'm acting like Gina. I can't do that. And that's what helps me. And they also have this frequency that's on YouTube for menopause.
Oh.
And it works amazingly.
Okay, I'll have to look into that.
Oh my God, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
When I first started menopausing, it was like the only thing that could help me through. I listen to a lot of ASMR. I have to listen to like taps in my ear, like to keep me, I don't know, like sometimes I got to keep my mind busy in order for me not to think of the hot flashes, or if I'm having a hot flash, and like sometimes I have a hot flash so bad I need to take my whole clothes off. But sometimes I can't take my clothes off because my lupus hurt my hands so bad I can't even move my pants. So I have to self-talk until I can actually get it down while I'm dealing with the hot flash. But the hot flash is so hot that I feel like I'm going to throw up. So I have to also think, okay, don't throw up. Don't throw up. Get your clothes down. You good, Janelle? You good? It's just a little hot flash. And until I get my clothes off, and then I put my hands in cold water, immediately my body starts to cool down.
Wow.
But I have to have my clothes off me because it feels like it's melting on me.
Wow, I think it's crazy that coming from someone who is using medication to deal with the menopause, and then talking to you that someone who isn't, and both of them struggle. Their struggles regardless. It just blows my mind how we as women just get through it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm just really speechless right now because I'm just like, it's just a realization. Like I know that there was a possibility you could go through something like this without medication, because there are a lot of things you can go through without medication.
Yeah.
But talking about it, going through it, and then just hearing in person someone who is not, like, it just really, like, my mind is like, wow.
Yeah. It's, you know, sometimes when I tell people, they like, you didn't decide to take the medication? Even when I went back for my yearly check, my doctor was like, no, you need the medication. I was like, She was like, what can I do to talk you into it? I was like, nothing. When I talked to some of my family members that have menopause, they had the worst time when they took the medication. I said, I don't want to end up like that. Right. I want to just try to deal with this naturally. So I do a lot of natural things to help me through it. Sunflower seeds help you with menopause struggles.
Okay.
You know, just meditation. Meditation has helped me a lot. Like, I didn't meditate as much until now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can even, you know, meditate just by, not like, but like just, you know, just thinking and like how you said, reflecting. That's part of meditation. And it helps so much. And it also helps when you have a partner that loves and cares about you, and they can help uplift you when they see you getting down in those moments. Because sometimes the depression is so depressing, it's almost like unshakable.
Right.
And you need somebody to be like, hey, babe, you know, you're amazing.
They
it's
like
gonna be
snap
okay.
you out of it.
Yeah.
Because you're so into it sometimes and you don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm. I'll be like zoned out, not even realizing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't have my wife, I don't know how far I would have came, because dealing with the surgeries alone, if I would have had to deal with all of this by myself, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here today with you.
I'm glad you're here, though.
Thank you. I'm glad you are, too.
Thank you.
So what are some other experiences that you have to deal with that you might want to share with some women that might just now be learning about it?
Take your time. Be gentle with yourself. Any thought, emotion, feeling, feel it, explore it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't deny yourself or doubt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just feel everything and go through the process, whatever it is you're facing. If it's sadness, go through it. If it's lack of support, build it.
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons why I started reaching out and wanting to do public speaking and podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very glad that you saw that cry for support or assistance and was like, hey, just come on over here.
And if you want to come back, not this month coming up, but the next month, you're more than welcome.
Definitely.
This isn't a subject that you just talk about one time. That's why I said I got to do this every other month, because people need to know, people need to be aware. And like I said, I'm just now learning about what you just said. I can't even pronounce it again. I'm just now learning about that. And I had no idea that makes you menopause. I had no idea that it also, you have to have a hysterectomy or a total hysterectomy with that. I always thought it was just fibroids and cysts.
Yep. And that is another thing that we had just touched on earlier about research, and general knowledge. Like, I wouldn't have known any of this until I went through it. And that's unfortunate, because I could tell my friends or family, hey, if you're feeling this, also check into that.
Yeah.
And have them check into it. And don't be like me, where it's taken almost a decade to figure it out.
Oh my gosh. Ever since I found out, I can be in a store and I'll see a woman and say, hey, did you get checked for fibroids and cysts? And they're like,
why?
No, some of them be like, girl, shut the fuck up. No, for real. Some people will get mad at me that I'm asking. And I'm like, well, do you even know what it is? No. And I'm like, well, maybe that's why you're mad at me, because you don't know.
Right. And also, I found that female reproduction is a very hard topic and is very personal, so that could also be it too. But I think that...
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, people, even sometimes when I speak with my friends, they kind of be like, and I'd be like, okay, it's a sensitive subject. For many reasons, everyone has their reasons.
Right.
But I just feel that the more you speak about it and get the knowledge out there, then maybe it wouldn't feel that way.
Yeah,
and that
that's
you
true.
Would have the confidence to advocate for yourself and research, and also know you don't have to stick to one special doctor or hospital or anything like that.
Yeah.
You can.
I don't care how long they've been in your family and delivered all your children. Well, sometimes them same doctors will miss something.
Right. And it's okay to go to more than one.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. And this is another reason why I started this episode, is because it's hard, to just bring it up to women without them getting offended. But it's easier to speak on it and them hear it come across their feed without being offended.
Definitely.
It's kind of crazy how that works, huh?
It does. It all comes full circle in some way.
And it'd be the same people in your neighborhood or area that might see you and be like, wow, I had no idea. And it's like, well, you remember last month when I was trying to tell you cussed me out? Now, again, thank you for being brave enough to speak on this.
Thank you.
Because, again, not a lot of women are brave enough to speak on these subjects?
Yeah, I was hesitant at first, but then I had told myself, no, you really did make a post. You really, something led you to get to that point.
And you had no idea nobody was going to reach out, huh?
I wasn't sure because it was such a touchy topic, I feel. And, sometimes when people express or even bring up women reproduction or health, they're like, oh, it's the same old, same old. They're going to talk about periods and or breast exam. No. With this journey and then being the support group and hearing other people's stories, it's more than that. Mm-hmm. It's a part of your life. And it also shapes everything. Your environment changes, the people you interact with, and how you look at yourself as well.
Mm-hmm. And what you eat, what you intake, then you also kind of get not even just scared of life, but you get scared to do things in life because you like, would that bring it back? Or would this do that? Or what if I'm exposed? Or it's scary. So it's also amazing to have women that are willing to speak on it, because that's another woman that can have your back.
Exactly.
To go through or just be another listening ear when your man can't be it or your woman can't be it. Sometimes we need that other listening ear that actually been through something similar to us.
Yep. I feel it builds a different kind of strength and confidence, and I think that's just beautiful that you can turn that frustration and pain into something helpful for other people, mm-hmm. and help them find their voice or their standing of what they're going through.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we head out, how has your mental health been here lately? Since being on your medication, and then how has it been since before?
It's very exhausting, just like me being on the HRT that we touched on, because with the hysterectomy, it was the physical, mental, emotional part, because you feel it.
Yeah.
And then you don't realize it'll go into that emotional part of it, which also is another stack on the mental.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, like for me, the other extension, which is the HRT. So that's another emotional on top of emotional with the mental to mental. So for me, I am taking day by day, journaling, talking, speaking. I just try to be really honest with myself.
Yeah.
It's hard to sometimes pinpoint your feeling or emotion because you have menopause affecting how you think and see things. So you really have to sit with yourself and be real and be like, I know it's this, but what about it? Because it's me, is it? Because it can't always just be this, because I'm going to deal with this until I do hit menopause and not take the medicine. So definitely reflecting, taking a look at yourself is what I'm going with. And of course, my creator, my God.
Right. Would you suggest that people take the menopause medication, or?
For me, I think it'd be a personal choice, because speaking with you, I just thought that once you reach that point that people just take it, but I didn't know, or it didn't even occur to me that you can do it on your own. So I think it's a personal choice, but for me, I wanted it to end. I wanted the discomfort. I wanted relief. I wanted a peace. So to me, taking it was just something that I chose.
Right. No, that's real. That's very real. Wow. And one more question. Okay. I can't remember how to pronounce it.
Adenomyosis?
Adenomyosis. Okay.
It's a weird word.
Right. And it's my first time saying it. Adenomyosis. Now, for those that don't know anything about adenomyosis,
yes,
what are 5 things that you found out about it during research that you can share with us?
Some of the common things with that condition is heavy bleeding, cramps, extreme fatigue. You start getting puffy, because of inflammation. You get a belly. And I didn't realize it, but there are 4 stages. So for me, even at the earliest stage, because again, I did my wellness exams every year, and the year prior, nothing came up. So they caught it early, but the recommended treatment for it is birth control. But even then, they said that's like a small Band-Aid and a big wound.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why for me, because everything was bigger. My stomach was big. I was big. My extreme pain and just voicing it. Like, I just told them honestly, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm feeling like. And I think that also helped. But yes, the bleeding, the cramps, and of course labs, ultrasound, basically, just to kind of sum it up. Yeah.
And is ultrasound the only way they could actually see or find it?
I believe so, because in my case, they missed it, actually, because, like I said, they always go through, like, okay, let's do the STD panel,
Right.
and then it'd be like the pap smear, the cultures, and even then, it was like, okay, now we're going to do ultrasound, and that was the ultrasound, so I would say yes.
Yeah, right, exactly. Wow. I definitely, again, appreciate you for being on a couch and being brave enough to share your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, anytime. I would love to have you again. I still want to know more. Like I said, I'm about to go do some research because I'm really curious, you know. Like, how many other women are suffering in silence because they don't know what to look for or what to tell their doctor?
Right. Yeah. I mean, just like me, I didn't know until just recently,
and then you're still learning as you go.
Yeah, definitely learning.
Wow.
I just wish there was something there where, like, if it's not this, then we go to this. Just
right.
Like they have different tiers of going through the process of things.
But do you know what stage you were in? I know you said it was the early stage. So was that like stage 1?
Yeah, stage 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you said there's 4 stages.
Yeah.
What's the 4th one like?
The 4th one would be that the tissue would be so massive and big, you could actually bleed out. Because it does cause the heavy bleeding because, again, it's in your uterus wall.
Yeah.
And then it expands and it actually bleeds. Like, it causes bleeding. So when you especially hit that menstrual cycle, that's when you actually clots. That's, for me, it was the clots, and I've never clotted before.
Right.
I'd use the cups or the disc with a pad, and it would still just go through. It got pretty intense and scary. So,
wow, I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
You know, because some people, I'm sure they, not knowing, it can go further and then to where it gets to stage 4. You know, because they don't know what to look for. So I'm so glad you advocated for yourself. Women, even men, make sure that you advocate for yourself.
Definitely.
Because you know your body. And even though they may have a degree, they don't know exactly how you feel. Especially if a medication or a test result don't come out the way that it's supposed to. Every time I've had an MRI, ultrasound, the ultrasound was the only thing the first time they came out right about the fibroids and cysts. But any other time I had an ultrasound, nothing. The MRI, it was wrong. When they did the MRI on my shoulder, it was wrong. They went in for surgery. Come to find out, my cuff was rotated or tore like 50%. You know, it was just like my back, it was worse than what they thought. So it was just like, nothing shows up the way they think. They think because it's a strong MRI machine or a strong CAT scan machine that it's going to get everything. But sometimes our bodies will hide the problem.
Exactly. And that's why advocating for yourself is so important.
Yes, definitely. Again, I appreciate you for being on the couch. Is there any last words that you would like to share before we go?
Nope. I think I said everything I needed to.
Okay, you guys, it's the Couch Chronicles where it ain't no fucking limits. Make sure that you follow my guest on all social media. Her information will be in the description. And this episode will be on Spotify, Apple, and Pandora tonight. And it will also be live for a little bit on Facebook, TikTok, Big O, Twitch, Facebook. Oh, I said Facebook twice. Fanbase, Favorited, Thread, Lemonade, all of that. So make sure that you subscribe and you'll make sure that you could catch the video. But this is a podcast, so it's really about the voice. So make sure that you get this information, keep this information. Ladies and gentlemen, advocate for yourself. It's the Couch Chronicles where it ain't no fucking limits. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is Friday. So I'll see you guys at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Bye. Okay. Wow, what a very informative episode. They texting song. Thank you for speaking on this.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
I like the comments. What else are they saying? Are they like, wow, I didn't know this? Or,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.